All right, everybody. Mindfulness today. We've been talking about anxiety this week. If you weren't here for that, don't stress about it. Basically, someone just give me a real quick definition of what anxiety is. Yep.
State of being nervous.
It's like a state of being nervous, a state of being worried. Is anxiety, can that show up in your body sometimes?
Yeah.
Yes. It can show up as muscle tension or a headache, or if you clench your teeth, it can make your jaw hurt. Mine, when I feel anxious, shows up as digestive issues. It makes my stomach upset, makes me not want to eat food when I feel really worked up. Does everybody's anxiety feel the same even in their mind? No. For some people, their anxiety feels very much like I'm thinking the same thoughts over and over. For other people, it might be like, I just feel panic. And other folks, it might be like, I don't really know what I'm specifically anxious about. I just know that I feel anxious. So, we're going to go ahead and move straight into some breathing. So I'm going to turn the air down. You guys go ahead, put on a mindful posture. So we're sitting upright, strong back, but a soft front. I'm putting the air on. Shoulders back and down. Feeling nice and strong, but relaxed. You're not at attention. So we're not tensing up our muscles, but we're standing firm. Let the hands just kind of rest in the lap or on the legs. Hear the air come on. Perfect. We'll be able to be nice and cool here in just a second. Today we're going to do the drumming breath. Actually, can I teach you a new one that I just learned this week? Yeah. I know so many breath techniques, but this was a new one. It's hard for me to find a new one, and I found one. I already taught it to my son. My son is 6 years old, and I know sometimes everybody feels anxious. Everybody feels nervous, but he said that sometimes he gets really, nervous or scared. And I had seen that this is called the physiological breath, and don't need to remember that, but this is something you can do to calm down right then. So instead of, I need to meditate or I need to go for a run, what if you're sitting in school and you're feeling anxious and you can't do anything about it because you have to take a test right then? Here's a breath you can do right then. So I'll show you and then we can do it together. So it's 2 inhales through the nose and then 1 long exhale. So like this. Notice that the exhale is really long, okay? So 2 inhales. You're not breathing out. You're doing 2 in. That way it's filling up your whole lung. And then breathing nice and slow out through the mouth. Yes, question here.
It's kind of like a balloon getting filled up. And
it's exactly like that.
And then just letting it out.
Perfect. Let's do that together, okay? Here we go. You've got room for your lungs to expand because we're about to fill them up with air. Ready? All right. One more question? Yeah.
Yes. And what was the name of it called?
The physiological breath.
Because an easier way is just like the balloon sound.
The balloon breath. That's perfect. I love that. Here we go. You ready? Nice deep breath in through the nose. Pause. In through the nose again. All the way to the top. And then exhale through the mouth. Right. Keep going nice and long. Exhale. Okay. Let's try that again. Inhale once. Pause. Inhale twice. Pause. And then exhale. It was a doctor that came up with this, and I don't remember his name, but he was talking about how this is something you can do right then when you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling worked up, right? So remember that one, the balloon breath. We'll call it that. I love that. Inhale through the nose. Inhale. And then don't go. That doesn't work. Nice long exhale, okay? Perfect. Next, what we're going to do, let's do a little feelings as weather right now. So I want you to take your attention and turn it inwards to what's going on inside your bodies today in terms of feelings. We're always feeling something. I've got my emotion wheel up here. We're always feeling something. So I would love for you to take a moment just to think about what's going on. I've got a lot in there. Can you have more than one feeling at a time? Oh, yeah. I've got a lot going on in there today. So moment of silence while we think about what we're feeling. And then I want you to think about what you're feeling like it's a type of weather, okay? You know how the weather always changes, right? It never stays the same. That's how our feelings are. They never stay the same. They will change. Even if the weather feels like it's not going to change for a while, it will change again. So what kind of weather have you got going on? Let me give you a moment right now to think about that and go. Alrighty, would anyone like to share what weather they have going on? Again, I need to hear something as short as cloudy or sunny. I love when y'all tell me details, but we have to move on if we want to do the garden today. So yes,
Sunset.
sunset,
Like gloomy, but like a little, like a lot of sun.
gloomy, but also with sun. Yes,
Like really cloudy and
cloudy and rainy. Yes,
windy, but humid if it don't snow.
windy but humid. Yes,
Like a light, calm rain.
light, calm rain. Yes,
Like a little bit of.
a little bit of sprinkling. Okay, there's a lot. I feel like almost like it's about to be lightning storm. Like there's about to be like it almost like you can tell when it's about to storm, but it hasn't stormed yet. You can kind of feel it in the weather, like it's weird, but it's also kind of exciting.
Also like the clouds.
And it's just cloudy, you can tell. That's how I feel. It's like not a storm, but like maybe there might be one. I don't know. That's not. So next thing we're gonna do before we move into the garden is one final activity. It's the one we did the other day that is my favorite for grounding during anxiety or when you're feeling really stressed. You can actually do this anytime. Can you do a breath even when you're feeling happy? Like, can you do the balloon breath when you're feeling happy? Yes. Can you do your feelings as weather even if you're feeling really great? Yes. Can you do the grounding activity I'm going to do in a second, even if you're not feeling anxious? Yes, it's a beautiful thing about mindfulness. You can do it anytime. So first thing I want you to do, this is the 3, 2, 1. So we're going to find 3 things we can see one at a time, 2 things we can hear, and 1 thing we can touch. Okay. And again, I love this one. This is one of my favorite tools in my invisible toolbox that I use when I'm feeling really stressed. Okay. So here's what I need you to do. Right where you are, don't get up. I need you to find something in the room with your eyes, and I want you to just pick it. It can be a picture, it can be an object. Don't find a person though. Picture or object or poster, something like that. Yes.
Can I just like an object on a person right now? Kind of like with the glasses.
That's fine. You can look at my glasses. I'm okay with that. I might move my head around, but you can just notice that happening. So I want you to find the object. I'll give you 5 seconds to find it. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now I want you to notice that object with all your might. Okay. Notice the color. Notice the shape. Study it like you could, if you closed your eyes, you could see every part of that object. Like if they took it out of the room and someone said, describe this to me, you could describe it from memory with perfect detail. Okay, next, I want you to look around and in 5 seconds, find a different item or object or picture. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, got it. I want you to notice it like you've never seen it before. You may never have, and that's okay. Now I want you to notice the color or colors. Notice the design or the shape of the object. Notice it with all of your might. All right, last one of this version. I want you to find another different from the first 2 object or item to notice. Okay, you got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. We're noticing the object. Notice the color. The design. Study it like you could see it from memory. Like 12 hours from now, you could describe what it looked like. Perfect. Now, I want you to change gears a little bit, and I want you to think about using your sense of hearing, noticing a sound in the room. The most predominant sound in the room right now for us is the air conditioning. So why don't we just go ahead and put all of our minds listening to the air conditioning. You what? Perfect. Are you okay to listen to it again? Awesome. Now, in a different situation, there might be a lot of noises all around you, and you might be able to pick from many different ones. Like if you were in a library, you might hear the sound of soft talking, and you might hear the sound of someone clicking the keys on the keyboard, or you might hear the sound of the doors opening and shutting. But since we're in here and the biggest noise that's around is kind of drowning everything out is the air conditioner. So we're going to make our own noise for the next one. Take your fingers together. I want you to rub your finger, really your finger and your thumb, and you can use more than one finger. Just rub them together near your ear and listen to the sound of them. And I want you to listen to it with all your might. Perfect. Last thing we're going to do, don't touch anyone, but I want you to find something near you that you can touch. So you can use your shirt sleeve, or you can use your pants, like last time I grabbed like a piece of fabric for my pants. You can feel the carpet next to you. If you just have anything kind of handy near you, you can feel it. But find something near you, and then I want you to put all of your attention. This one's my favorite one. I think this one is actually the most effective for reducing at least my anxiety, is when I can notice something and feel it. It helps to really ground me and help me to feel like I'm back in the present moment and out of my head. So find that thing and just kind of like, notice the way it feels. Notice the temperature and the texture. Put all of your attention on what it feels like. If you get distracted, that's okay. We're going to get distracted, but bring your attention back to how that object feels. Let's just try it right now to do no distractions, just thinking about that object. Perfect. Now, we're going to move on to the thing that was requested today, which I'm excited about. Had it on my list anyway, which is perfect. I need you to find a comfortable position. You can sit upright, and you can have your back against the wall, or you can lay down flat on your back, okay? If you're watching this, you can't lay down. It's okay. You can still do this sitting upright. You can use one object in this room as something to lay down. Also, your body should not be anywhere near somebody else's body, okay? No touching anybody. If your feet are touching the person's head in front of you, you gotta move. Spread out. You get one object that you can use to help support yourself, or you can simply stay seated. That's fine too. But you need to make sure that no part of you is touching any part of anybody else. And again, if you are choosing to lay down, this is not a nap, okay? We sleep every day and still feel anxious, because sleep and what we're about to do, meditation, are two different things. They do different things to your brain. Sleep can help. When we get a good night's sleep, that can help us with our anxiety, but it's not the same. You're just turning your brain off. Versus meditation helps you navigate your thoughts and your feelings in a way that can help you deal better with your anxiety. Okay, so totally different thing. If you're laying, you're flat on your back. I see people on their sides, flat on the back. If that's not comfortable, you're gonna have to sit. Flat on the back is what we're going for. All of your back is laying on the ground. Your hips are flat on the ground. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna leave the lights on. If you're watching later, again, you can be laying flat on your back, or you can be sitting upright in your chair. That's totally fine. Don't get in a position so comfortable where you think you might go to sleep. If you're somebody who's like, I'm 100% about to fall asleep right now, then you need to sit up. Because that's the point. You're not going to get very much out of it if you lay. So your legs should be straight out in front of you if possible. If you don't have space, you need to move. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Go ahead and just start to make your breathing a little bit slower. This is going to be a very quick meditation, so I need you to stay with me, okay? Breath a little bit slower, a little bit deeper. Breathe in through the nose, nice, cool, clean air. And release out the nose or the mouth, but nice and slow if it's out of the mouth. Let your body become still. Notice if you have any movements, any fidgeting. And invite yourself to become as still as you can. Let the body become heavy. Shoulders are relaxed. We're relaxing the jaw. Feel free if you're comfortable with closing your eyes. Otherwise, just kind of soften your gaze. We're not looking around. We're just closing the eyes. And if the eyes are open, we're just kind of staring off into space. If it feels uncomfortable to lay still, think about what that might be about and maybe what you might be able to do to adjust. Consider how to make yourself 5% more comfortable than you are right now. And then make that adjustment. Beautiful. I want you to imagine, where I'm taking you on a little bit of a journey, okay? And some of you have been on this journey with me before. I want you to imagine that you're in this room right now. You're hearing the sound of my voice. You're feeling the ground supporting you or the seat beneath you supporting you. Your breath is getting a little bit slower and a little bit slower. Your body's becoming more still. And I want you to imagine now that the room you're in is fading away. Almost like it's getting blurry. And this feels very strange, but at the same time, you're feeling very safe. You're feeling very interested in what's going on. From the blurriness, there starts to come a new place into your vision. Imagine that this blurriness becomes more clear and more clear until you realize that you're standing outside of a gate. Picture this gate in your mind. What kind of gate is it? Is it a brick wall with a metal door? Or perhaps a wooden gate? Maybe just a white picket fence, whatever kind of gate that you can imagine. But you don't step through it yet. Instead, you notice that just outside of the gate, right next to you, is an old, withered, gnarled tree. This tree is your worry tree. Your worry tree is where you can place your worries. And don't worry, the worry tree wants you to place your worries there. That's its whole purpose. So before we step through the gates where your garden is going to be, take a moment now to try to leave your worries at the worry tree. You can imagine leaving them like dropping a big heavy bag, or maybe nailing a list of worries to the tree, or hanging up your worries like they're ornaments on the branches. However you want to leave your worries, I'm going to let you have a moment to do that now. And now I want you to make your way from the worry tree towards your gates. The gate is ready for you to walk through. It's inviting you in. So you open the gates and you step inside and you notice that you are inside the most beautiful garden you have ever seen in your life. This is your own special garden. It is a safe place just for you, full of beautiful things, a place where you can be totally yourself. And I want you to look around and really imagine what kind of garden this might be. What kind of garden would be a delight to you? Perhaps your garden is full of flowers, or maybe your garden is very large and full of rolling fields and creeks. Perhaps your garden looks like a jungle with thick wooded area, lots of leaves. What kind of things, imagine in your mind, are you seeing in your garden? What colors? What kind of things do you hear in your garden? Perhaps the sound of running water somewhere, like a little brook, or a frog, or a bird. Reach out and touch maybe the leaf of a plant. Notice how soft and how cool it is. Or perhaps you feel the grass beneath your feet. Take a deep breath. What do you smell in your garden? Perhaps you're smelling a campfire somewhere. Or perhaps you smell the smell of a beautiful flower. Maybe you're smelling the smell of fresh cut grass. Now imagine that fruit and all sorts of delicious things grow on the trees around you. Maybe reach out and take a bite of a delicious plant. It doesn't matter if that plant doesn't grow here or there, or this is your garden. You can have in there what you want. So if you have an exotic fruit that you like, but maybe it shouldn't grow in our climate, that's okay. This is your garden. Imagine taking a bite out of a delicious piece of fruit growing in your garden. Or maybe there's a little bit of honey that you can take a little bite of, maybe on a little spoon, laying right there on a little table, waiting for you. I'm going to give you a moment to just walk around your garden and have a look and see what's there before we make our way to the exit. So take a second to walk around. Slowly start to make your way back towards the gate. Our time in our garden is coming to an end. You're making your way towards the gate and you're remembering that this garden is with you wherever you go because it lives in your imagination. You can visit this garden whenever you want. You close the gate behind you and you notice your worries are still at the worry tree. You can choose to pick those up and take them with you, or you can leave them there. They might find their way back to you. They might not. Regardless, you start to step forward past the worry tree into the blurriness again, everything going kind of blurry, interesting colors swirling around. And you begin to become aware that you are back in this room hearing the sound of my voice, feeling the ground underneath you or the seat underneath you, noticing the sound of the air conditioning or other little sounds around you. Perhaps bringing small movements to your fingers or to your toes to make yourself aware of your body again. Feeling the temperature of the air in this room, the weight of your clothes on your body. And gently and slowly, when you're ready, you may come back up to a seated position. If your neighbor is taking their time, that's okay. We're going to let them, all right? But join me back in a seated position. And we can discuss what you might have seen in your garden. If you want to share one thing about your garden, just one small thing about your garden, I'd love to hear it. No pressure though. I'm never going to force anyone to share that doesn't want to. If your garden wants to stay private, that's totally fine. One small short thing because we don't have a lot of time. Yes.
It was a like medieval castle in the middle of the garden.
Very cool. I love that. Yes.
It's always fun.
Always fall. My garden was fall today because I imagined while I was sitting here doing this, and it was fall for the first time. It was fall in my garden.
Mine's usually spring.
Love that.
I was really
Yes.
happy when I read that.
Mine had strawberries and blueberries in it, and really good.
Love that. Strawberries and blueberries and good fruit. Yes.
Wild daisies.
Wild daisies. Come on, snaps for wild daisies. Yes.
A medieval castle. Oh, blooming blossoms.
Beautiful.
And berries.
That's awesome. Very good. Yes.
So my castle not my castle, my garden had these like coffee shops and these places where you can go to like take deep breaths if you're like stressing out about something, and then they have these nap places, and in the coffee places there's always pumpkin spice latte.
Woo! Come on, we've got coffee places in the garden. Is it okay to have coffee places in the garden? 100%. Yes, yes. I love that your garden, which is a place of rest and relaxation, has special places to go and rest and relax. That's also awesome. I just love that. Anybody else? You what?
New edition.
New edition. It's the other thing, when you go back, sometimes stuff is different, right? That's what's crazy is you come in. I had cherries this time too, which I was kind of like, cherries. That's interesting. I'll take one right here before we have to go in, and you're my last person. If you want to tell me something after I turn off the recording, that's fine, but you're my last person for now. Yes. Do you want to share now, or do you want me to go ahead and turn it off?
You know what?
Okay.
So like kind of an open field.
Open field.
So with white, red, and pink and pinkish purple flowers.
Love that.
And there was like open pathways, and I was riding a dirt bike.
Awesome. I love that. You can visit this anytime, but may I suggest a good time to visit your garden is before you go to bed at night, or as you're laying in the bed at night, when you're resting, trying to go to sleep, instead of scrolling a device, which we know is not so good for our brains, it doesn't calm us down. Looking instead at nothing and thinking about your garden is something that can help you fall asleep better. But it's also something you can do when you're feeling overwhelmed. If you were like, I want to meditate, but I don't know how, go to your garden. That's meditation. You just did it. Yes.
I've like tried like being like the garden and like other like meditations that you taught us to.
Mhm.
But like honestly, I just cannot do it without like your voice. I tried like searching it on like YouTube, like garden thing, like nothing was there.
So if you want, I can put it in the Discord because I have just me leading the garden on YouTube. And it's not, I mean, I'm recording this, but there's like a separate video just of the garden that I recorded like a month ago. So if you wanted, you could have that. You could listen to me lead you into the garden every night if you wanted to. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this recording off actually. Thank you for joining.